Hi everyone, my name is Trevor and this is my lovely wife Karen and we're from Inspired Method Marketing. Welcome back to the YouTube channel and today we're going to be talking about the challenges of a home-based business. Now, Jim Collins, who's the author of several books, he says creativity dies in an undisciplined environment. Now here's a quick stat for you guys from BDC. Micro enterprises, firms with 1 to 4 employees, represent 54.1% of all private employers in Canada.
Wow, that's over half.
Yeah.
Very small numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been there. Running a business from your home sounds like a dream, but when it comes down to productivity, distractions can get in the way.
Mm-hmm. So, Karen, how did we get started working from home?
Well, I think like probably any smart business owner, we got started by just learning about the industry. That's really where it starts, is the learning. And that happened for years before we found where we are now, which is where we want to stay. It took us a lot of tries and fails and lots of more studying and applying and just growing and learning and gleaning from a lot of other people in the industry. And then we just, I don't know, how much of the story do you want to know? Or how much of the story do you want me to tell?
Well, I'll put a little bit in there as well. So what happened was I had been miserable in my job, just miserable.
Dying a little every day.
Dying a little bit of a piece of my soul was dying every single day. Going to a job that I knew there wasn't a large future in, and I was really just a number and really collecting only a paycheck and not really making a life for the family. And it came to the point where we had experienced a layoff, like we mentioned in a previous video. And at that point it was like, you know what? Rather than going out and getting another job, I think it's time for us to just bite the bullet and start. You know, we have a little bit of income coming in from yourself and a little bit from me. Let's see what we can do in the next several months and make this thing go. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, sure did. You have another question for me?
Yeah. So Karen, what was the best part about operating a business from home?
Well, of course I love the flexibility, but with that there can be negatives about that. There's pros and cons to that. But I like the flexibility of, just getting ready for the day and being right in your business. I kind of like that because you don't have to drive through traffic. You don't have to worry about, getting the kids out the door to school. It's just all kind of happening right there. So I like that. I still like that. We don't exactly operate that way anymore because of the cons that come with it. But that's what I like. What about you?
I really like that as well. Being able to wake up and I'm at work. Make myself coffee and just get started with the day, sit down at the laptop and start plugging away. Those things were great, and having my family around me and not in a stinky, smelly, noisy environment with a bunch of grumpy, smelly guys. That was a treat.
Yeah, that's true.
But Karen, what were some of the biggest challenges that we faced working from home?
Well, the cons would be that it was hard to separate home from work. Kids got in the way. Well, they didn't mean to. They just are kids. They need their parents. So it's hard to, remind them of, this is work time, or maybe even making phone calls can be difficult. And then just being distracted. I'm the queen of distraction. If the sink is full or the laundry needs to get done. Multitasking is a myth, and so if you choose one thing, you're letting go of something else. So I get distracted by those home items while I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah, can't chase 2 rabbits,
No.
right? So now, how does the kids' schedule affect the business schedule?
Now, in the place that we're at, where you're here at the office and I'm generally at home most days, that's why I'm at home, because I'm taking care of the kids. I'm picking them up from school, taking them to school, picking them up, spending a lot of time with, the littlest one who's still not in full-time school. it's tricky, and finding that balance, there's guilt on both sides. There can be anyway, where I feel guilty if I'm working too much and I'm not spending time with the kids, or if I'm spending too much time doing home stuff and work stuff, or home stuff and kid stuff, that I'm not spending enough time in the business. It's finding that balance. I don't know if you'll ever find it, but if you do, if you guys know a way, let me know. That's the difficulty I find.
Yeah. So what are some things that we do to overcome those challenges?
Number one is the schedule. These are the days I'm going to be going to the office. That's it. There's really no way around it. That helps productivity go right up. And then also just getting the kids to be more involved in, being more autonomous, making their own lunch, maybe walking to school. Yeah, just that schedule is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you can add to that?
Yeah, no, that's huge. Having scheduled time when you are supposed to be working and when you're not, and trying to get up a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And get some important work stuff done before the kids are awake. That's another big thing that I know helped me when I was at home.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. I think the biggest challenge, or the biggest thing that you can do to help if you are operating a home-based business, is to have a separate room for your office where you can work distraction-free.
Yeah.
That would be ideal. That wasn't a situation that we had, but I know that would really, really help a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Towards productivity.
Yeah, because even when I had the day home, it was almost my whole house was the day home, and I never felt like I could get away from it, and it actually became a resentment because I could never just close the door and just worry about it when I'm working. It was always in my face. I need to clean, I need to keep up, and it just became a huge stress of always performing and always being on top of something that I wasn't even engaged with at that time. I didn't like that about the day home. And having a home office would be very similar, where it would be nice to just shut the door, work is done, it's closed, this closed sign is up and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Minus a few interruptions maybe.
Right. So now here's a question that's a little bit in a different vein. So how does operating a home-based business affect your credibility?
Ooh, you know what? I think it does. I really do, because I never really thought about it until we had an office outside of the home office. I think even when we were telling people about it, we felt like we had more credibility, and it came across in our communication. Whether that was true or not, we're still the same people, we still do a lot of the same things. It just upped the ante of like, these guys are serious, they have an office, they're doing business. And then clients come to the office too, so that credibility goes through the roof as well, where they see, oh, they really are doing this. This is not just a hobby.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
So now, how have things changed now that we have an office to work out of?
We get a lot more done. Productivity has gone a lot up.
Mm-hmm.
And schedule, systems, all those things have just been put in place that weren't necessarily strong before, and it's increased everything, right down to the revenue and the profit. So
yeah, awesome.
You can hear some of our coworkers right now laughing in the other room.
So what are a couple of tips to help somebody with a home-based business?
Well, like we already said, and we'll reiterate here, is keeping things separate as much as you can. I would say if you have a desk, well, I hope you have a desk. That's one thing. You should have your own space, whatever it looks like, and keep it as much as you can separate from home stuff, kids stuff, everything else stuff, and just keep it for business. Organize it the best that you can and keep it clutter-free, because it's very easy to become cluttered over and over again. So keeping on top of that, and if you can have a separate room, that's even better, because then you can just close that door and it stays the way you left it, hopefully. And I would say get that schedule in stone, make those calls when you should make those calls, like on a Monday morning, start prospecting, cold calling, emailing, so that you can fill up your calendar and your schedule for the rest of the week. Don't wait till Friday to do it. We were just talking about this today.
Yeah.
do it Monday morning when it's fresh in your mind and you have a whole week that you can fill up. So those are some of the things that people don't necessarily do when they're home-based business, because they think they can be flexible with their time, but you know what? Your time is not really that flexible if you're serious about it. You have to make use of all of that time. And block things in the schedule.
Yeah, I like what Jocko Willink says. There is freedom in discipline. So having the disciplined time set apart for everything in your schedule will really help you to get the freedom that you're looking for on the other side. So that's all we have for this topic today. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it, and if you like it, please give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, and we will be sure to get you some more awesome, amazing marketing tips coming forward, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Bye.